Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to a mass knowledge sharing session. My name is Online Mo, CCI 50505. In this video, you will learn how to implement the enterprise network using two ISP. I want you to know how to configure USB default, reliable default, and how to change USB default course for step area. Okay, let's look at our network diagram that we are trying to implement for our customer network. This network design is using three layers: SL layer, distribution layer, and core layer. You can use VSS technology, VPC technology, and star-wide technology for your production network to provide the wide redundancy. But I'm focused to ISP, redundant ISP. Customer needs redundant ISP to access internet. Customer want to avoid single point no failure whenever they access internet. So they want to use two ISP. They want to get redundant ISP. That's why in our network diagrams we are using two ISP. But they don't want to use additive. They want to use additive standbys. They want to use ISP1 as primary link. They want to use ISP2 as a secondary link. If R1 or ISP1 goes down, they want to use ISP2 to access internet. You need to configure to meet customer requirement. Okay. And R5 flash office want to access VLAN 10 to 17. Whenever they access VLAN 10 to 17, they want to use R3 as primary link. If R3 goes down, they want to use R4 to access VLAN 10 to 17 network. To do that, you need to understand OSPF and VLAN trunk either channel spanning tree net. Most of the configuration I already shared in previous videos. Okay, let's look at customer requirement. All VLAN needs to communicate each other. They have VLAN 10 to 17. They need to communicate each other. So you need to configure VLAN trunk either channel spanning tree in the VLAN routing. And R5 loopers and need to communicate to all VLAN 10 to 17. ISP1 is primary link and ISP2 is secondary link. Okay. R5 loopers want to communicate to VLAN 10 to 17. At that time, R3 is primary link and R4 is secondary link. Okay, let's look at solution point of view. You need to understand VLAN trunk, either channel spanning tree, inter-VLAN routing, OSPF, standard route, IPSLE to implement this network. Before you implement this network, you need to study about theory. This is a nice way to avoid knowledge gap. So I highly recommend to study about theory first, but I'm focused how to implement this network. Okay, let's begin. I will configure VLAN trunk either channel spanning tree in the VLAN routing on SL layer switch and distribution layer switch. But let me edit in Notepad. This will save you a lot of time because layer 2 technology is not difficult for you. So I think you already know how to configure VLAN trunk either channel spanning tree in the VLAN routers. Because I already shared how to configure VLAN trunk either channel spanning tree in the VLAN routing in previous video. I believe you already watched in previous video. Okay. I will configure step by step. DS1, whose name DS1. VLAN 10, name HR, VLAN 11, name admin, VLAN 12, name save, VLAN 13, name marketing. Let me edit in Notepad to save our time. VLAN 10. Layer switch 1, hostname ES1, hostname ES2, before you implement this network, you need to understand what are the customer requirements. You need to listen to customer requirement carefully in order to provide the best solution to meet customer requirement. Okay. Now we finished VLAN configuration. It's time to configure Ethernet and trunk. I will configure LCB Ethernet and trunk. TS1. Usual CDB neighbor. E0/0 and E0/1. Okay. In the field range E0/0 to 1 set. Channel group 1 move and div. Switchboard trunk encapsulation to 1U. Switchboard mode trunk. Switchboard trunk allow VLAN 10 to 13. Okay. Switchboard no negotiate. Switchboard trunk native VLAN 999. No set. On AS1, I will use passive to avoid. When you can use active edit, but I don't want AS1 to send initiate bucket. So I will use passive. Okay. AS1. DS1 and between DS1 and ES2, LDCB either channel will be configured. Okay. E0/2 and E0/3 are connected to ES2. 3 channel group 2 998 ES1 ES2 E0/0 and E0/1 are connected to DS1 E0/0 and E0/1 channel group 2 mode passive. We learn 12 to 13. Okay, now we finish trunk with the channel configuration. Let's configure spanning tree. Spanning tree MST configuration. Name EMS. Instance 1, VLAN 10 and 11. Instance 2, VLAN 12 and 13. Revision 1. Spanning tree MST 1 priority 0. Spanning tree MST 2 priority 0. TS1 should be primary root switch. Spanning tree mode MST. To show run by session spanning tree. Okay. ES1, ES2, spanning tree provider for spanning tree provider BPTU. Okay. E0/2 is VLAN 10 member, E0/3 is VLAN 11 member. E0/2 switchboard mode access, switchboard access switchboard no negotiate, E0/2 E0/3 switchboard mode access, switchboard access VLAN 11, switchboard no negotiate. Okay. ES2 in the page E0/2 is VLAN 12. Switchboard mode accept, switchboard accept, switchboard no negotiate, E0/3, switchboard mode access, switchboard accept VLAN 13, switchboard no negotiate, spanning tree buffer default, spanning tree buffer BPTU. Okay. Now it's time to configure intermediate routing. To enable IP routing feature, you need to type IP routing. In the VLAN term, IP address 10.0.0.1, 255.255.255.0, no share. No show right in the VLAN term. Let me edit in Notepad. VLAN 11, 10.0.1, VLAN 12, 10.0.2.1, VLAN 13, 10.0.3.1. No share. No share. Okay. It's time to verify our interface is up or not. So I need interface brief, type exclude sign, or SPI are working successfully. Show if the channel summary. Nice. Show the trunk. Trunk also successful. Okay. Now I will configure DHCP. I'm the DHCP pool HR. Network 10.0.0.0. And follow that 10.0.0.1. DNS server 8.8.8.8, 8.8.4.4. You may have own DNS server for your production network. You can use your DNS server. In this case, I don't have private DNS server. DHCP excluded 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.11. These addresses are excluded. Okay. To show run by session, IP DHCP. And 10.0.1, we need to replace with 10.0.1. Admin, these tools are for admin network. And 0.1 replace with 10.0.2. Now this pool is of C. Tan 02, tan 0, would replace tan 03. This pool is for marketing department. Whenever you give the name, you need to use capital letter. This is best practice. It's better to use capital letter for the name. We don't need to confuse. This is command or this is name. Okay. Show run by session ID DHCP. Okay. Let's go to a user to get IP address. DHCP, DHCP, IP DHCP, DHCP. Okay. This is VLAN user already get IP address, some number, can wait. And VLAN 11, VLAN 12, VLAN 30. Okay. Show IP DHCP. And then, okay. DHCP service also working successfully. Now it's time to communicate each other. Tan 0, 1, 12, tan 0, 2, 12, tan 0, 3, 12. Interval routing is working successfully. Okay. Okay, let me take a break here as part 1.